Stop it, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the updated version of, or this is the custom card review, but this is the updated version of the video that I posted probably last week. Was called Thorn Prisoner. So, yeah. Here. Let's get rid of the destroyer part. Yep.
Thorn Prisoner.
Thorn Prisoner.
Prisionero Espina.
Yeah. So all these have in their like Spanish names. Because I watched the custom card or the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. So this is Prisoner Thorn Dahlia, or Dial. That's what I call it. She's a dark level 4 fiend effect monster. With 1500 attack and 1600 defense. So her effect is, if she was normal summoned, special summon 3 Prisoner Thorns or Thorn Prisoners on monsters from your deck, graveyard, or hand to your field in attack mode. If this card is used for ritual, So she gives the protection to monsters, or the synchro monster that they are unaffected by card effects, can be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and if she's killed, she gets shuffled into the deck and adds one spell card or trap card from a deck or graveyard to your hand, and you take no damage from battles. So, yeah. Then Whipper is based on Grim Reaper, not the watch me whip, watch me nay kind. I'm using their last part because saying Thorn Whipper or Thorn Prisoner Whipper is kind of long name, but So, dark level 4 fiend with 0 attack and 0 defense. And he's basically a hand trap card. Basically, like if your opponent activates a card effect that inflicts damage or effect damage to your life points, you can reveal this card from your hand, special summon it to your field in attack mode. If it does, then negate that card effect instead. And you gain life points instead of damage until the next turn. If this card inflicts damage to your opponent's life points, you can select one card from your opponent's deck, send it to the grave. Then this makes this card attack again. So it's basically like I dealt some damage. Now I'm taking your Red Eyes. He's Black Dragon, or Blue Eyes, depends on who's are you gonna battle against. I'm actually gave you a hint of what the next two cards are. after the original ones. So Banner allows you to basically select two cards from your graveyard or banner zone, shuffle it into the deck, and then, yeah, that's it. Or once per turn. Cat! Okay. So, hi. So, sorry about that. Yeah, and then if this card inflicts damage to your opponent's life points, pay 1,000 life points, makes this card attack again. If it does, discard, or no, draw two cards from the top of your deck to your hand. If this card is used for, no, it's basically all these cards have, like, if this is used for its own archetype, then it gains certain effects. Depends on it. So, like, this one allows a monster to attack 4 times per battle. Oh. And then, yeah. If this card is in the graveyard or banner zone, you can shuffle this card into the deck and add one of those. So yeah, then Van N can, once it's like normal or special summon, you can get, you're basically, it's grabbing the monster from your opponent, like basically grabbing your enemy's team or best monster and dragging it to you, or and equipped it to it. So yeah, basically equipped the monster to this card turn, and then yeah, but if this, and plus this card gains the attack and defense. If this card is used for, yeah, so plus this one, it gives the whatever monster that's used with it can attack your opponent's life points directly. So basically, if you use this card with this card, that will be about, it will attack 4 times, plus they all are direct attacks. So then their single monster basically summons a token in defense, but and the tuner monster that I fixed up, this one, is actually a tuner monster. I forgot to just add that. So, level 1 with this one, or any of the other ones, makes this card broken. You know how broken it is? It's so broken that even probably if it was released, it would probably be banned immediately. So, because if this card is special summons, you can do that, and then you can basically, if this card inflicts damage, so basically if you bump this card up to almost 9,000 points or more, then you can just or you can activate spell cards, There's like Horn of a Unicorn to equip to it. And it gains the attacks. Like, if it can attack, does some damage, then you pay 1,000 life or 100 life points. Makes this card attack again. If you do, basically your opponent loses 2 cards. So your opponent only, yeah. But if you do it like, if you attack 4 times, you could attack 8 times because of this one. It makes you attack 4 times. This one attacks your opponent's life points directly, so it would be like you go from 700 times 8. So let's do our math. If the 2 spell cards, like the Black Necklace and the Horn of a Unicorn, earn the... Yeah, so the Horn of the Unicorn gives 700, and the Pearl gives you 500. That you go equip both of them to that Synchro monster that was used or was summoned with. Give me 1 minute. Sorry. To use this one and this one, it will make your monster attack it directly, and plus only downside is you pay 8 times, so you can attack 8 times, and that you basically went over that much. So, yeah. Then, now we're on to the newer ones. So, there's a card that I made in the dueling book one, or one of the spell cards, allows you to basically, hold on. Yeah, it's this one. So, let's go over this card before we move on to the one of the monsters. So this card is basically, if this card is, or this is called Prisoner Spike / Chain, or yeah, chains. So it's pretty pointy. So if this card is activated, you can select one monster from your opponent's deck or graveyard, special summon it to your field in attack mode. But its but its name becomes Prisoner, or no, I forgot the name of it.
Thorn Prisoner.
Thorn Prisoner thing, but I'm using the translated name.
Prisionero Espina.
Yeah. Using it, it is treated as that monster on the field. If this card is sent to the grave, you can shuffle this card into the deck, draw cards until you have 7 cards in your hand. So, now the 2 monsters that I was talking about, that I gave you hints. So, Prisoner Thorn's Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's a dark, levels Level 7 Dragon Effect Monster with the same stat line as the original. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by attributing one blue-eyed white dragon on your side of field to the graveyard. Special summon this card to your field in attack mode. Once per turn during either player's turns, you can shuffle one of those selected, or its archetypes names, from your graveyard or battlefield or hand or field into the deck. Destroy all cards from your opponent's field, and then all cards effects from your opponents cannot be activated until the end of the third turn. If you do, skip your opponent's battle phase until the next turn. If this card is used for like Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, XYZ Link with of its archetype, and it gains this effect for once per turn. This card cannot be banished by card effects. If this card is sent to the grave, you can shuffle this card into the deck and special summon one Thorn Prisoner monster from anywhere except this card to your field in attack mode, but its attack points get set to 3,000 attack points. You can't and only use this effect for once per turn. So basically, yeah. Now, what if your opponent played Red Eyes and you activate the card, earn this card, and you take it, or use Monster Reborn, bring it to your side of the field, and you can tribute it to bring out this card, and this card needs a Red Eyes Black Dragon monster from the field. Or hand to the graveyard. If this card is special summon, you can select two cards from your opponent's field or hand, send them to the grave. If you do, inflict 25,000 damage to your opponent's life points. If this card is used for like synchro thing with that, it gains, or of course it gives the card is immune to, cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. So if this card is sent to the graveyard, it's basically has a built-in Sangam and effect. Basically, you can shuffle this card, add 2 spell cards or trap cards from your deck or graveyard or banner zone to your hand. Plus, you don't take damage from battles involving this card. So basically, yeah. So this card is pretty powerful with like Blue-Eyed White Dragon one. And now I already went over the spell card, this one. Now the trap card that I made for today's what if, or no, today's custom cards one. This card is like a Ring of Destruction. If your opponent activates a card effect, or actually declares an attack or activates a card effect, you can you can discard one card from the top of your deck, negate that attack and or card effect. If it does, then shuffle it into the owner's deck. If this card energy effects get negated by card effects, you can shuffle all cards from your field and graveyard into your deck. And so basically, both players take 500. For each card from either player's graveyards by this effect. So basically, no matter how many cards in your opponent's graveyard, your opponent takes damage because it destroys all cards earned. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck and special summon 2 Thorn prisoners monsters from anywhere to your field in attack mode. So basically, you can and summon her, or no, actually summon this one and or 2 of these, and their both effects would go off as simultaneously. Yeah, or you can normal summon this card and special summon 3 monsters to your field. So, So, if you guys want me to do another archetype, this is just a anime making archetype that I made from the anime that hasn't been released in real world ones. Because some of it is too brutal, and some of that you can't even see what the card's effects have. So, So this is the custom cards things that I made that supports it. So like this one, I know it's I know it is a Blue Eyes White Dragon one. And most players, like our Blue Eyes players, will have a hard time with this. Because once you activate Monster Reborn, brings their monster Blue Eyes White Dragon to your side of the field. You have this card in your hand, you can tribute it, special summon this monster without any doubt. And you could also use the spell card. It's Psycho Monster Reborn, but you can select a card from. So, So, basically, reason why I picked these 2 monsters over the entire thing is that I love Blue Eyes White Dragon and Red Eyes Black Dragon because they're basically yin and yang, good and evil kind. So, every time. Yeah. So, and some people you might not know, but on his forehead is actually a thorn urn on top of his head, all over his body too, because yeah, because he's has it all wrapped around his entire body, like basically like you know how like these cards have like thorns all over those bodies. Yeah, basically, yeah. So then, but this one, or Red Eyes Black Dragon, really has it going. Like, literally, he been on, like, some of his Red Eye support cards were on the ban list. That's why this card is, like, represents, like, some of the Red Eyes Black Dragons that are on the ban list. So, yeah. And plus, with these two cards, or with this card, you can take. It's basically like a Konami just like decides, I'm gonna ban Pot of Greed. I know Pot of Greed actually is banned, but I still play it, no matter if it's banned or to get some of the draw phases in. I even sometimes play or actually, but my favorite monster, but the favorite monster from this archetype that I made, it's the because you do not see too much of the anime's cards that were the anime exclusive ones. Like, basically, it fell behind on support. So, yeah, so I gave them, like, custom support. Basically, like, if you use a fusion, like, Parsmation, fuse all of them together, they do different stuff. Like, this one makes. So, basically, if you use, like, this one with a card that's this one. So these ones, like this one, hun, each one of them is a equivalent of a. It has immunity. Basically, it's unaffected by card effects. It can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and it can't be banished by card effects. So once I finish up with this custom archetype fusion monster, then I will, and I'll make like a synchro monster, like not synchro XYZ monster for it. That will take 2 level 7s and fuse them together. Like this one, it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Or this, yeah. So basically, you can, yeah. It's just weird. And plus, Fusion Monster will have like immunity like this one, and you could see big plays with it. So, yeah. Like this card basically gains attack points. Means of like you can select a monster from your opponent's deck to be equipped to it. Then you can, and then it gains attack. Basically, it's basically like forcing your opponent to like lose one monster that you can gain its attack points. It's basically like those horror movies where one of the characters gets grabbed by like tendrils of a squid, dragging them into to be consumed as nutrients. Yeah. So if you guys want me to do a new archetype that I will customly make, would be called something something. I don't know. So please leave a like, share, subscribe, and peace out. If you guys really like this archetype and you want to see more support for it, go right ahead and make your own custom support. Bye.